Okay guys, welcome back to the Kickstart Garage YouTube. Today I'm going to walk you through the 5 key takeaways from Morgan Housel's phenomenal personal finance book, The Psychology of Money. A great book that really delves into why people make the financial decisions they do and what successful investors do in terms of decision making to ensure they minimize risk and maximize return for themselves. So let's get started with the first key takeaway. Number one, everyone's different. The author begins by revealing that the average American does not have $400 discretionary cash in case of an emergency. A small figure which is quite alarming considering most emergencies cost a lot more than that. The startling fact, though, is that the average American household spends over $400 a year on lottery tickets. And with the odds of winning the lottery, they're basically guaranteed not to win. People love this idea of hope and make seemingly obvious foolish decisions because the dream of winning is romanticized more than sticking to a competent saving routine. Financial success generally comes down to developing good habits. Remember, behavior is more important than intelligence. The theory behind financial competency is simple, but human behavior is never simple. Number two, there's always a bigger fish. A solicitor at partner level in Ireland can expect to make about €100,000 and would be considered to be in the top 1% of earners in the country. You may think they must be delighted and are surely living the dream knowing how well off they are. It's not that simple though. A solicitor may go to the same gym as a successful YouTuber who happens to make over €1 million a year through, maybe they own a business, AdSense revenue, brand deals, affiliate partnerships, sponsorships, which puts them in the 1% of the 1%. 1 million a year is a lot of money, right? But that YouTuber looks at the Forbes rich list and they see Elon Musk has recently hit $192 billion in net worth. Now, this puts him in the top 0.0001%. So, what's the lesson here? It'll never be enough. Chasing material wealth is a slippery slope. You need to be careful. Number three, prioritize spending less than you earn. In the book, Housel recounts the story of the janitor who managed to accumulate 7 figures in wealth during his lifetime, $8 million in total. So how is that possible, you ask? He didn't get an inheritance. It was all through saving and compounding his salary through investing. Ronald Reed, he did this through cementing a habit of saving money and investing it to compound over time. So if you're not saving enough money, you can never achieve proper financial wealth. The man who saves €10 per week consistently to invest, he'll always outperform the man who sporadically saves €250 once a year to invest. Consistency is what will get you to the top of your financial situation. As Warren Buffett would say, do not save what is left after spending. Instead, spend what is left after saving. Have a strict percentage in mind of what you can afford to save from your income and don't ever stray from it. Number four, no one cares about you. Housel refers to a fascinating principle called the man in the car paradox. He explains how we're all quite self-absorbed as humans and we crave material things to impress people who don't particularly care at all. Whether it's the new Audi or the watch you've been eyeing up that costs a month's wages, we become drawn to these items purely out of that imaginary future happiness we get or we perceive obtaining once we do get it, and it never actually comes regardless of whether we get it or not. The next time you see something on Instagram or in the shop window, question whether you would truly wake up a happier human if you were its owner, because the chances are you'd wake up and you would feel exactly the same and you would have something else that you were chasing. Number five, remember the margin of error. Humans can tend to get quite overconfident sometimes. When you see a stock going up and you're convinced the future looks bright, you're going to be inclined to overindulge in the position you take out of greed. At the end of the day, though, no one can predict the future. And as we all know, certain outliers can hit us like a ton of bricks sometimes. Things like COVID or natural disasters that essentially no one can really predict with a high degree of accuracy. When it comes to finances, make sure you build in your margin of safety so that whether it's Bitcoin crashing or your biggest company firing their CEO, you'll still sleep at night knowing you've diversified enough and are comfortable that your asset allocation meets your risk tolerance. So guys, to conclude our 5 key takeaways. 1, everyone is different. 2, there's always a bigger fish. 3, prioritize spending less than you earn. 4, No one cares about you. 5, remember the margin of error. So that was the 5 key takeaways from Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. Thanks for joining us. Go and check out the book yourself, and we will see you next time.